Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into one of the most foundational shifts in modern business history. For literally centuries, commerce relied entirely on the trusty paper ledger. You know the drill, the meticulous scratching of pens, those towering, dusty stacks of physical books. But today, a modern digital challenger has completely taken over the stage. So we're going to unpack the great ledger debate: manual versus computerized accounting. We're going to structure this explainer like a balanced, heavyweight bout. First, we'll look at the great ledger debate itself. Then, we'll weigh 5 primary digital benefits against 5 main system risks. And finally, we'll talk about how to choose the right software for your specific needs.
All right, part 1, the great ledger debate between paper ledgers and digital systems. Let's set the stage for this core conflict.
Just think about the sheer contrast between these two worlds. On one hand, you have traditional manual accounting. This is the realm of paper, pencils, and manual math. It's a very physical, tactile process that relies 100% on human calculation. Then, on the other hand, you have computerized accounting. This is all about software, automation, and instant reporting. We are fundamentally comparing the dusty, manual number crunching of the past with the incredibly fast, automated power of modern digital systems. So let's move to part 2, 5 primary digital benefits. Let's explore exactly why those manual methods are becoming obsolete by looking at our digital champion. Benefit number 1 is, without a doubt, automation. The absolute beauty of a computerized system is that it completely eliminates mundane, time-consuming grunt work. For example, once an invoice is issued, the system can automatically process it without you ever needing to lift a finger. It just takes all that repetitive, heavy lifting right out of the equation. Which brings us right to benefit 2, accuracy and reliability. Because these systems have built-in automated calculations, all the additions, subtractions, and complex math, that's done for you. It practically eliminates those oops manual math errors. So once your initial data is entered correctly, the financial statements that come out the other side are highly reliable. No more second-guessing your arithmetic at 2 in the morning. And honestly, that leads directly into our third benefit, speed. The whole process of preparing accounts is just remarkably faster in a digital environment. Instead of spending days compiling numbers at the end of the month, managers can generate statements and reports instantly. With just the click of a button, boom, you have real-time insights exactly when you need them. Now, let's talk about benefit 4, scalability. Imagine your company suddenly experiences massive growth, and your transaction volume doubles practically overnight. If you're relying on manual accounting, that is a nightmare scenario. You're frantically sifting through complex paper records and literally running out of physical space. But digitally, a computerized system just easily scales to handle all that increased data and complexity seamlessly. The system simply expands right alongside you.
We'll wrap up this round with benefit 5, security. With a digital system, your latest data can be securely stored off-site. Think about it. If a fire or a flood hits your office, paper ledgers are gone forever. But digital off-site storage protects your data from those unpredictable disasters, enabling a super quick system restoration. You literally just log back in from a new machine and you are right back in business. Okay, on to part 3, 5 main system risks. Because as powerful as digital systems are, computers definitely aren't invincible. The traditional manual methods still offer some very real, tangible control. So let's look at the manual defender's arguments.
The first major risk to consider is cost. Transitioning to a computerized system ain't exactly free. Businesses have to buy the software, pay for ongoing updates, and they might even have to upgrade their entire fleet of computer hardware just to run the programs efficiently. Sometimes you even need separate software just to view the exported reports. Those price tags can get pretty steep, especially for a small business just starting out. Another major risk is our heavy reliance on the computers themselves. Look at it this way. If you spill a coffee on a physical paper ledger, you might ruin a page and it'll probably ruin your morning, but you still have the rest of the book. Compare that to the absolute utter panic of a sudden hardware crash, a power grid failure, or a nasty computer virus. If that happens, you lose access to your accounting software and your data completely until it gets fixed. You are literally locked out of your own financial universe.
Then there's the tricky issue of fraud. While the math itself is accurate, software actually makes it easier for bad actors to alter data without leaving obvious physical traces, like eraser marks on a piece of paper. This increased risk of embezzlement means a business is practically forced to implement strict extra security measures, highly restrict user access, and bring in internal auditors just to keep an eye on things. Next up is what we call amplified human error. Sure, the computer does the math perfectly, but what if the human typing in the numbers makes a mistake? Imagine you're flying through data entry and, oops, you accidentally add an extra zero. Because the system calculates everything at lightning speed, that one tiny typo multiplies into a massive cascading disaster across all your statements. Tracing that invisible typo back to its source is often way more difficult than finding a mistake physically written out in a manual ledger. Finally, we round out the risks with training requirements. Users have to invest significant time and money into actually learning how to use the software. For employees who just aren't super tech savvy, this is a very steep and costly learning curve. Actually, for really inexperienced users, navigating through all those step-by-step screens just to enter basic data can sometimes take longer than simply writing it out by hand.
So, when we weigh the whole debate, it's a real balancing act. You've got your digital pros, automation, accuracy, speed, scalability, and security. But they are up against some serious cons: cost, crashes, fraud, amplified errors, and training. Both sides have incredibly valid points here between the efficiency of the new world and the tangible control of the old one.
Which brings us to part 4, choosing the right software. Let's get to the verdict. Ultimately, the right method and the right software depends entirely on the specific needs of your business. If you are going to make the leap to digital, you really need to evaluate a few key factors. First, consider the size of your business. A massive, scattered organization needs complex, multi-user software, right? But a small local shop might just need the absolute basics. You also want to prioritize ease of use. Look for an intuitive interface. Make sure it has the specific features you actually need, like tracking the cost of goods sold or running your payroll. You absolutely need robust data protection. We're talking SSL encryption, firewalls, the whole shebang, especially if you're using cloud software. The system should also easily integrate with your other tools, like an e-commerce platform. And finally, weigh the price. But keep in mind, while cost is super important, it shouldn't be the only deciding factor if this software is going to drastically improve how you manage your money. And that brings us to the end of our explainer. But before we go, I want to leave you with one final, pretty provocative thought. Take a really close look at how your organization handles its ledgers today. Is your current accounting system actually fueling your growth by giving you fast, accurate, and scalable data? Or is it holding your business back through a lack of integration, hidden errors, or just plain wasted time? Remember, the numbers always tell a story, but only if you have the right system in place to read them.